Greetings, friends. This is part one of my three-part series on the theological reflection and cultural sort of contextualization of some of the chapters of Genesis. Mind you, these opinions that I share do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Bible per se, but I'm hoping that what I share is somehow led truly by the Spirit as I check it upon the broader story of Jesus and the whole gospel message found in the Old and New Testament. The constant barrage of news with, executive orders and ICE raids and the continual billionaires playing Monopoly as we are their personal game pieces on the board makes it hard sometimes to stay focused and to really apply some good old rational critical thinking. And there are two in particular TikTok creators that caught my attention today. One, Tom Noble, who he actually had taken a break from social media for about a week, came back this morning with thoughts on how we as people, and maybe Americans, have a hard time owning up and being held accountable, that we cannot seem to say we were wrong. The other one was Danny Lime, who really was reflecting on sort of the narrative that some African Americans have bought into that really have led them to a place in their identity of shame in their own skin. And I couldn't help but begin to really ponder the first 11 chapters of Genesis. I think they're one of my favorite pieces of scripture because they not only outline our understanding of God's engagement with what God has created, but how we as human beings, just human beings, how we sort of engage the world around us. And it's very, very, very revealing when you begin to think about how much we are Adam and Eve, how much we are Cain, how much we are like those who wanted to build the Tower of Babel to get up into heaven. Now, what I'm about to say is probably going to not fly very well, especially with those who are literalists when it comes to Scripture. But I think that from the very beginning, God had intended for us as human beings to be in relationship with each other, meant for us to be in community. I don't think it was about man and woman only. I think it was about how important God knew it was for human beings to not be alone. And then, of course, we get into Genesis where Satan approached Eve and sort of tapped into something that was probably within her, tapping into this place where she realized that perhaps there was an unequal balance between her and perhaps Adam, but it was tapped and pointed to God. And so the serpent was able to convince her that no, it's okay to eat the fruit, because what God knows is that if you eat the fruit, you will be like God. And that is just way too tempting for human beings, isn't it? To have power and control, to be able to say, I don't really need anybody, that goes in the face of what God had said, that it is not right for humans to be alone.